Alright, we are back with more Forza Horizon 6 news, and dude, I watched like 10 seconds of this, and it is something very interesting so far. Okay, 17 seconds. But we're gonna see. This should be about Forza Horizon 6's customization, improvements, and crazier than ever Forza Edition cars. So we have a bunch of stuff to go through. This is gonna be very exciting if it is what I think it is.
I'm probably right in saying this is the largest vehicle art team.
Let's actually head straight in. I have no idea what to expect from this. This is the Miata we saw from the trailer as well. So the exhaust pipes are there, blower and like everything. This was what I saw. This is very cool and very interesting. Just seeing this so far, we can actually walk around in here. And dude, I was begging for this and I'm so excited about this. 2-car garage. So this means that we're gonna be able to have like other garages as well, which is amazing. 41,600 garage value, so that might be the cars inside the garage then. Ooh, okay.
We know that Forza Horizon 6 will arrive with 550 cars on day one, which is the largest number of cars at launch for any previous Forza Horizon game. That
I actually thought Forza Horizon 5 had more, but okay.
Over the next several years. After all, Forza Horizon 5 arrived with just over 500.
Okay, so it was fairly close then.
However, moving forward from the Xbox One and Xbox One X generation of consoles has given Playground Games the opportunity to finally pull the trigger on a number of improvements to vehicles. Improvements which touch every single car.
There's work we've done across our whole suite of vehicles in carrying them forward, which both modernizes them. So, for example, if you look at our headlights and taillights, we've got a new kind of refraction-based shader on them, gives them this really authentic look of depth and feel. Also with things like where you have polycarbonate style headlights, there's a sort of a kind of rainbow refraction effect that you get through there, like an iridescence as the light casts through it. We've also reworked our materials used across the library of vehicles as well. So we've done some basic stuff like that outside of customization. Some of the coolest things I think we've done are where we've made investments that touch the entire library. So there are new vehicles that we have in the game, and those vehicles have their own unique bespoke parts which are exclusive to that car. But then I think probably the biggest areas, some of the areas we're most excited about, are things like Forza Aero and window decals.
The ability to place decals on windows has been something that's been requested ever since the influential livery editor was first introduced to the Forza series in 2007's Forza Motorsport 2.
Window decals, a long requested fan feature, something that we've also wanted to do for a really long time. That requires a massive investment. You have to go back and do work to every single car in order to support that. So we're really thrilled that we've been able to bring that to players, and that allows everything from doing huge ornate designs that span across the windows, wrap all the way around the car, to simpler stuff like having a sun strip in the windscreen, or even just smaller low-key things like having window stickers that you can go and place on there.
I think that is going to be very cool for, especially for like how people usually do the deliveries and stuff. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how they do it now.
Another noticeable improvement that touches on just about every one of the hundreds of cars in the game is Forza Horizon 6's new Forza Aero. Dedicated car builders have become increasingly critical of the one-size-fits-all approach of the all-purpose Forza Aero parts available in Forza games, but Forza Horizon 6 will feature front splitters tailored to the individual car, and modern spoilers with separate paintable elements.
We've redone the new the front end and the rear wing for Forza Aero, so the new front splitter is completely bespoke to each car. So the car, the vehicle artists now have like handles that they can kind of mold to the body lines of the vehicle, where before we had kind of like one piece that would just go onto the front of the car. Now each can kind of tailor itself to the design of the actual vehicle.
That is actually good though.
Especially with the canards as well, like it follows the body lines a lot better. And we have a new tow hook which you quite like because it has the feature of being able to be paintable. So for people that like the smaller customization,
this NSX, like the Acura, it looks so
actually,
good.
You know, sort of like a red blob on the front of the car. You've got like, you can actually.
I don't know about the wing though, but
yeah, I think just the fact that the the kit, the Forza Aero pieces themselves, every single one of them has been somewhat reworked and somewhat retouched to work with the profile.
This is
of
a
that
very long
vehicle.
video as well,
That's
so I'm gonna
the biggest
skip a
upload.
bit
If you
forward. I want to see if we
body
can get
and
some
the same
more stuff
carbon materials,
on the garages and stuff.
we've removed to click into metallics, where it up, you go to paints from there.
Because I feel like figuring out paint is something that we are gonna figure out at some point.
That's been reworked. So when you look at the tread pattern, when you look at the tire wall, that's a kind of fresh new design, and you will see that feed into the tire wear. That is another feature that we've added to the game as well. In terms of other customization, we've not talked a huge amount about the performance stuff, and we've got a really cool class of car in the game that maybe shows up in a bigger way this time around, James. So maybe we could give an example around K car.
Yeah, so we have a few new K cars in the game, and one of the cool things I think we wanted to lean into is they're pretty small, so get some pretty interesting engine swaps.
I mean, it's not my type of stuff, but I can definitely see people enjoying this.
Some great audio, and they also rev to silly numbers, so yeah, I'm really excited for those. I think we didn't talk about K cars and the fact that they've got their own bespoke plates.
Yep.
So yeah, if you drive any K cars in the game, you took a lot of focus and a lot of detail on the plates and trying to get the authentic.
Injected with entirely custom fabrication you can't recreate by manually applying upgrades in the auto show. The team explains they began to experiment with this a little later in Forza Horizon 5's lifespan.
There's two examples of this. One was the Horizon Edition Dodge Viper that we added to the game, where that had those elements as possible.
This one looks sick.
Into the Forza editions that we feature in the game. And like personally, I think these are some of our most exciting cars. So again, they're very rare. Like you can't just go and buy these through the auto show, either through rare wheel spins, or interestingly, a few of these will be available as aftermarket cars. So as you're out exploring the world, some of these might pop up for sale as aftermarket cars on driveways, giving you a nice reason to go out and cruise.
That is really nice. I like that though.
The thing that makes Forza Edition special this time
like imagine coming across this on someone's driveway and it's like, do you want to buy this? That would be such a cool feeling.
Really, it's the level of attention we've put into the visuals of those cars.
Did we get what the hell is going on here?
Slicks on it. And then yeah, you can turn it into basically like a little time attack car. So I think that's something that we haven't done before, where you can actually.
They are glazing this Miata like crazy though.
Turn it into something that's capable for something completely different.
Speaking of different, Forza Horizon 6's Forza Edition S-Cargo is about as different as you can get, turning Nissan's quirky 70-odd horsepower snail-shaped mini cargo van from 1989 into an insane rear-engine Banshee full of custom engineering and a new central driving position.
The S-Cargo started off as a joke from one of our vehicle artists, because when they were working it up for Forza Horizon 5, they noticed that the dials were in the middle of the car, and they were like, you sit on the right, like why don't they sit in the middle, then the dials actually make sense. And then I guess they just span up the idea of this crazy
that's insane.
So, yeah, it's really cool.
Amazing.
Like it's the one car that I'm like, if it was a real car.
The third car the team shows us is the Forza Edition Mazda RX-3, which is a little more sedate than the previous two, but that is intentional.
Yeah, I love the RX-3. So we have one of the
this seems to be some garage stuff. This I really want to check out.
Taking the Forza editions and uplifting them even further beyond the base car. That's what we want to see. We just want to see people having fun in them.
Of course, in Forza Horizon 6, you won't just be restricted to customizing your cars. You'll also be able to customize the garages you store them in. There are 8 houses in Forza Horizon 6 that players will be able to buy, and each one has a garage. When you pull up to houses, you will load into the garage, so no more painting your cars on the driveway. As you progress through the campaign, you'll unlock the ability to store multiple cars in your garage, one of which will be your current car with full Forza Vista functionality, and the others will be static models. I'm immediately taken by how much they remind me of digital versions of die-cast car dioramas, and the team explains they were inspired by the things players had begun to do with Forza Horizon 5's creator tools, building backdrops to show off their cars in certain ways.
I think the real inspiration goes towards that whole car culture thing of being able to not only build your cars and customize them, but also have somewhere to show them off, as in like you would in real life. And I think that was really what we were trying for when we were looking into like the design for this and how we can make that available to the players, was thinking, okay, we know they have cool cars, they have ways of making the cars look cool. How can we make it so they also have a space, like those diecast where they can show them in a specific way, play around themes, play around looks, and have that ability to like update that, alongside their vehicles. I think that was the main thing we're trying to think about, was like, all right, if I'm the player, what's the best way to do that? What tools we have available? What could we create for them to, create that space?
Yeah. It's something that we know players do, right? I mean, we talked about this, the kind of journey that we've been on with Horizon 3 and players deciding that certain houses belonged to them, and then in 4 we implemented the houses feature. Horizon 5 we built Event Lab, we built Event Lab Island, and as you said, right, we wanted to deliver on something we know that fans have asked for many times: customizable houses when. So looking to find a way to kind of bring that really powerful, robust tool set that we tested out, that we knew could do all of these things, that we knew players were using to do this insofar as they could, and then actually turning it into a curated building experience with as much freedom as possible, like allowing you to clip things through walls and sink things into the ground, and really be as free as possible with where you place your cars. So you can make something that looks like a garage, or you can make something that looks like the superhero lair, if that's your vibe.
Garages function like all other user-created content in Forza
Ooh,
Horizon
okay,
games,
so you can
and
actually
they'll be
download
shareable
someone
with the
else's.
community, have share codes, and be able to be browsed and downloaded.
Yes,
That is sick.
We anticipate that it will be a small number of players who make the wild things that you see in games like this. But then I look at other games that have building mechanics in them, and the creativity it unlocks lifts the community, but it also inspires the community. It's like, oh wow, I can't make, I know, the inside of the inside of a medieval dungeon with my cars in it or something, but maybe I can mess around with it a little bit. Maybe I can get on that journey to move forward. So yes, it's catering to a specific, very creative group of people, but ultimately, I hope that more people will engage with it, more people will try it out. If the only thing they do is like put down an extra locator, fine.
Yeah, I think 1000%, like, that's this niche of players that we know and know.
I think this is
like,
going to be a
have
very,
enjoyed
very
those
popular
similar
thing,
features
though,
or features that in some aspect shared what the garage does.
because they
in
know
previous
people
games,
want this,
previous Horizon
and
games. But
I think
we also have to keep in mind.
hold on, let me just pause this for a second. I think letting people actually like design and share their own stuff, because that has really become popular in like races, and then imagine doing it in garages. I think it's going to be very enjoyable.
That we've designed these features and implemented them.
I also have to apologize because I am not talking a lot this video. I've inhaled way too much gas fumes today, so my head is exploding and so is my throat. So I'm trying to keep it very minimal, but I am really enjoying this stuff.
On a whole side of, we know there is like this smaller fraction of players that build, but we also know that there's still this huge chunk of our players that enjoy and consume, right, the fruit of the creativity of those master builders, right? And I think Garage also has that, and that's something we really want to lean on to, is the whole aspect of, sure, I could be a player that loves, the idea of that, but not necessarily has the time to sink into, building my own layout or familiarizing myself with the tool. But due to how the feature is done and how we want it to be, it's going to be fairly easy to, pick up a pretty cool,
It's
pretty
literally
unique
just a couple
layout.
of button presses,
Exactly.
and then you're browsing them.
And it's now yours in a way that you'll be able to pick, what cars you show in there, but that layout would have been made by someone else, so you won't be able to edit it directly, but you'll be able to pick and place your own cars as if it was your own garage, right? You found a contractor that built it for yourself, and then you just had your cool cars shown in there.
While the team explains
Yeah, I
players
really
will be
enjoyed
afforded
this.
a lot of freedom in terms of placing objects, with clipping and kludging all permitted for people to achieve the precise look they're after, we won't be able to place vinyls in the space. However, perfect is the enemy of good, and sometimes compromises need to be made to get new functionality like this completed.
I think we've made compromises to the bone on the original ideas that we had. There was a version of it where every house had a different floor plan. There was a version of it where there were windows in it. But kind of talk about these as next tier problems, right? If there's a window outside, what happens when it's nighttime? What happens when it's winter? What happens if a car drives past, right? All of those become really difficult to answer. And we really wanted these features to ship in the game, so we kind of made the decisions every time we had to make a scoping decision. It was, can we still keep the core of this, which is, I can make it, for me it was, can I have my brutalist architectural living room with a 911 parked next to my sofa? Can I still make that? Yes. Okay, we're still good.
Okay, but honestly,
Check out our full ride.
I'll have to give them credit for that, to say that, like, we could have put Windows in, we could have done this, we could have done this, but it would not have been ready for the game release. So they were just like, okay, let's take a step back, let's make it so that it works and everybody can use it to what they want. So from what I'm getting from this is they kind of want to do more with the garages, but for now it is very functional and very working, and that's how they wanted to ship it with, which is very interesting. And honestly, I like this so far, and this is gonna be very, very interesting to check out for sure. We are almost a month away. Okay, maybe almost 2 months away, to be honest, but yeah, it is coming. It is coming, and I'm very excited. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching. Leave your thoughts and comments down below, whether you like this, whether you don't like this, all the good stuff, and I'll read through it all. Thank you for watching. If I didn't say that, I don't know. And I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, and thank you so much. There will probably be a Crimson Desert video. I kind of, yeah, I didn't read when it was going to release, and I'm a couple of hours early, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm trying to fill the time for now. Thank you guys. See you in the next one. Goodbye.